let's talk about some functions. I've already got a script open up over here on the left, and I've already got IPython opened up too. The trouble is, I saved the file, the script, to this location. Now, I wrote this into this script. It wouldn't be there by default. But the script is on c:/users, James, desktop functions, and then the file name is 3.1.py, Python. But if I ask the interpreter, where are you? It'll say, I'm on c:/users, James. So I need to change the directory of the interpreter to be where the script is. So this is pretty simple. So desktop, functions, there we go. And if I do ls, it'll tell you what's in that folder, and you'll see we've got 3.1.py.py right there. So now we're in the same directory. We'll call this the working directory. Okay, so I want to write a script. So let's say I want to write something like print, my name is James, print, this is computer science, and we will learn about functions. Okay, so let's say I've got this chunk of code that I think is very important, that those 4 print statements. And then I want to do something else, like maybe print 5 plus 7, print 7 plus 8, I don't know, some useless stuff. And then later I want to repeat that same code I've got right here in my script. The trouble is, the easiest way to do this is to just copy and paste the information. And maybe I want to do this hundreds of times. I could just simply copy and paste it, but that's kind of a pain, but we could do it. But maybe, what happens if I want to make a change, right? What if I make that change? And I need to make that change consistent across all places I have that code. I need to copy and paste it all the times I have that code. An easy workaround, though, is something called functions. So let's write a function. To do that, all we have to do is say def, that means define, and then the name of a function, call it my function, and then we need these brackets, and then a colon. And everything inside this function is going to be indented. And then when we want to finish the function, we'll unindent. If we want to call the function, all I have to do is write my function, I need the brackets, and that's it. And then I can get rid of this, and I can just write the same thing again down here, my function. Okay, now I'm going to run this script. Run. And we will see that it printed out the contents of that function twice. The first time right here, the second time right here. And it did what we asked in the middle between the 2 function calls. We do need to talk, however, about the flow of the program, how it's going to execute. When we hit run, here's what's going to happen. We start, and Python sees this thing right here, the first line. It's a comment, it's ignored. More on this a little bit later in the course. And then it carries on, then it sees def my function. The computer then takes note that there's a function here called my function. And then it just skips everything. It doesn't execute the stuff inside that function. And then it carries on down here, and then it sees the name of a function called my function. Then what happens is the computer goes
inside that function. And now we're inside that function, and then it says, oh, my name is James. This is computer science. We will learn about functions and so on. And then once the function finishes, it'll go back to here
and carry on. We go to this line, there's nothing. Go to this line, print 5 plus 7, print 7 plus 8, carry on, another function called my function. So it goes back up to line number 3.
And we're inside the function again. Print, 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 print. We finish.
We resume back to line 14. We go down here, and the script's done, and there we go. So now, let's make perhaps a little bit more useful of a function. Let's say def add numbers, okay? And then maybe I'm going to have equals 5 plus 7, print result. Okay, and now here I can say add numbers. Make sure to add the brackets after the function call. It's very important. And now I can say run there, and it prints out 12. And I can call this as many times as I want. So I'm doing it twice in a row, 12, 12. If we do it another time, of course, it'll print out 12 3 times. But this function's not particularly useful, is it? All this function will ever do is print out the number 12. We can make this function a little bit more general, a little bit more helpful for what we need to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to use something called parameters. They're just like variables, but they're parameters. They're variables that we can pass to the function. So let's say I've got a variable called a and another variable called b. All right? And then inside of this, I want to say result is going to be equal to a plus b. I don't know what a and b are yet. All I know is that when I call this function, we're going to add what a and b are and put it in result. And then later we're going to print result. So now we've made this function more general. This function won't only ever print out the number 12, it'll print out whatever the sum of a and b are. So when we call this function is going to expect parameters. We need to give them. So we'll say 5 and 7. So now when I hit run, here's what's going to happen. Python's going to start up here at the comment again, and it's going to skip over it, and it's going to see, oh, now on line 3, we've got a function called add numbers. It skips over it. Skips. Then we get here, then we see add numbers.
Then it goes inside the function, and it assigns the value 5 to the variable a and 7 to the variable b. And then it says, well, result is 5 plus 7, 12. Print out 12, then we're done.
And that's the end of the whole script. But let's say I want to call this function again, but give it the numbers 5 and 5, let's say. And then maybe in one other time, and we're going to give it the values 0 and 0 for fun. So here's what's going to happen. We start the script, comment, skip it over, see the function declaration, skip it. We're not actually calling the function yet. We get here, oh, we see a function called add numbers, and we're passing it the values 5 and 7. So we go
inside the function. So a is 5, b is 7, result equals 5 plus 7, print out the result, there we go.
We return to add numbers. Then we skip down to here, and we see another function called add numbers, but this time we're passing it 5 and 5.
So a is 5 and b is 5. Result equals a plus b, 5 plus 5, that's 10, print out 10.
Then we see the function called add numbers, and we pass it 0 and 0.
A is 0, b is 0. Then we say result equals 0 plus 0, print out 0. And then we return here.
And that's the end of the script. So let's run it and make sure everything worked properly. 12, 10, and 0. So it worked. Awesome.